on the Boston Massacre trial. So your audience will probably know that the Boston Massacre occurred in 1770 in Old Boston. And it was a confrontation between British troops and, let's just say, some tough guys, some Boston teenage boys. And one night, sort of tensions had been mounting over the course of several weeks between the so-called redcoats and these sort of local hooligans. And one night, it resulted in the Americans, this increasing tension. The Americans started throwing snowballs at the British troops. And then the next thing, a shot is fired, and then several shots are fired, and several Americans were killed and injured. And so the British soldiers, several of the British soldiers, most importantly, Captain Preston, were arrested. And you can well imagine how high tensions were in Boston. And the whole town had turned, obviously, against these British soldiers. And so tempers were running and emotions were running very high. And of course, in Boston, they were entirely in favor of the Bostonians who had been killed. But these soldiers needed to be defended in court. And when no one was willing to defend these soldiers, John Adams took on the case on the grounds that no accused person in a free society should be without defense. And so he took on the case, and particularly for Captain Preston, who oversaw the British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre. And through his remarkably persuasive powers, Adams was able to get Preston off from the conviction. And it was, of course, Adams lost a lot of favor in Boston at the time, and he was one of the favored. He was a leading revolutionary. So for him to defend these Boston soldiers, not Boston soldiers, but the British soldiers, he was putting himself he was risking his reputation.